Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Wandering Guru. I wanted to present before you a topic which was very close to the heart of Padre Pio, a topic that he dealt with for nearly 50 years. And the topic is about the evil one. Have you been troubled by evil one or by satanic attacks? By non-stop problems? I know many people who have been having continuous problems one after the other, and they are really struggling how to face this problem called evil in their lives. They have no solutions. So today in this video I want to present before you this man Padre Pio, who struggled with evil for nearly 50 years. And so today I want to present to you how Padre Pio dealt with this evil one. I want to show before you some of the sayings of Padre Pio. First one, Padre Pio used to say, the human soul is the battlefield between God and Satan. It's a struggle between God and Satan, and the battlefield is our soul. And we have experienced this problem in our families, in our personal life, in our society, in our nations. And therefore Padre Pio says, these are his quotes. If all the devils that are here were to take bodily form, they would blot out the light of the sun. That means there are so many devils, and therefore we have so many satanic attacks. Padre Pio says, this Satan or Lucifer or evil one, whatever name you may call it, he has many tricks up his sleeve. Different ways he comes in our lives. And I would like to read from my own book, Tracing Our Brother's Footsteps. A few years back I had written this book. And in the third chapter, I deal with this problem of evil. And Padre Pio writes about this. He says, the devil wants me for himself at all cost. The moment you start deciding following Christ, the devil will continuously attack you. That's what Padre Pio is saying. And this devil will come sometimes even in the form of good people. Padre Pio had a spiritual director. His name was Father Agostino. And Father Agostino is writing in his diary about the experiences of Padre Pio. Please allow me to read Father Augustine's words. In the beginning, the devil appeared to him in the form of an ugly black cat. The second time in the form of nude young women who danced. The third time, without appearing to him, they spat in his face. The fourth time, also without appearing to him, they tormented him with deafening noises. The fifth time, he appeared to him in the form of a torturer who whipped him. The sixth time in the form of a crucifix. The seventh time in the form of a young man, a friend of the friars, who had visited him a short time before. The eighth time in the form of his spiritual father, Father Agostino. The ninth time in the form of Pope Pius X. On further occasions, the devil appeared to him in the form of his guardian angel, in the form of Saint Francis, even in the form of Our Lady, and finally, in his true form, horrible, with an army of infernal spirits. Furthermore, there is this Pietro Tartaglia, a writer, Italian writer. He writes about this. He says, since his childhood to his blessed death, Padre Pio had to continually fight and sustain the ferocious battle with Satan. Traps of all kinds were laid for him with the most fearful artistry. Illness, misunderstandings, beatings, terror, tortures of the body and spirit, persecutions, insults, diffidence, and abandonment. Satan vomited the ferocious hate of the inferno against him. These are some of the writings of the spiritual director and historian of Padre Pio. So you see, Satan has got many tricks to trick us, to tempt us, to make us fall in the eyes of God. And Padre Pio is of the opinion that the most common trick that Satan uses is, he says, when we fall into sin or when we commit sin, in the beginning everything is calm and nice, but the ending is always a tragedy. Therefore he says, what comes from Satan begins with calmness and ends in storm. Padre Pio further says, if the devil is making an uproar, making a noise, it is an excellent sign. What is terrifying is his peace and conquered with a man's soul. So these are the words of Padre Pio. So what's the solution, my dear friends? Padre Pio himself gives us a solution. You must turn to God when you are assaulted by the enemy. You must hope in Him and expect everything that is good from Him. You have to turn to God. That's what Padre Pio is saying. Padre Pio says that there is purpose for your suffering. The satanic attacks in your life has a purpose. And what is this purpose? Let us further see. This is according to Padre Pio. He says, the storms that are raging around you will turn out to be for God's glory, your own merit, and the good of many souls. If you are attacked by the Satan and if you are suffering, remember there is something good coming. Salvation is coming to this world. Many souls are being saved. Don't be daunted by the cross, says Padre Pio. The surest test of love consists in suffering for the loved one, and if God suffered so much for love, the pain we suffer for Him because as lovable as love itself. The greater your sufferings, the greater God's love for you. It's a mystery. If God loves you, He will allow you to suffer. Because God the Father loves His Son so much and yet allowed His only Son to die on the cross. So, be prepared. The more God loves you, the more suffering you will receive. But, if you stick on to God, you will have the grace of God. And like St. Paul, you will become victorious. You know friends, our God loves us so much that He is really possessive about us. And there are nearly 28 references in the Bible, especially in the first 5 books, the Pentateuch, where God says He is very possessive about us. And therefore, Padre Pio says, these are his words. He wants you entirely for Himself. He wants you to place all your trust and all your affection in Him alone. And it is precisely for this reason that He sends you this spiritual heredity, to unite you more closely to Him. So when you are possessed of God, pain and suffering becomes bearable. Now see what Padre Pio says. A man who suffered for 50 years, these are his words. How unbearable is pain when suffered far from the cross. But how sweet and bearable it becomes when it is offered close to the cross of Jesus. In your suffering, stick on to the cross and the suffering becomes joy. That's what Padre Pio says. You know friends, there is so much of evil in the world because one of the many reasons why there is evil in the world, if you want to know, you can watch another video, God on Trial, in this very channel. There are thousands of people who have deliberately sold their souls to the devil through various ways, maybe black magic, witchcraft, and therefore this is one of the serious problems in the world. Some have made contracts with the devil. We make contract with God of love, but some make contract with the devil. So through various ways. Therefore Padre Pio says, the greatest charity is that of liberating souls captivated by Satan and winning them for Christ. May I repeat? The greatest charity is that of liberating souls captivated by Satan and winning them for Christ. So it is a duty to liberate the souls who are captured by Satan. You know friends, there are people who say, oh come on, this is an old story. there is no Satan, there is no evil. It's a creation of the religion, or maybe it's creation of the church, or maybe it's creation by the priest. Now this is same question was put up to Padre Pio by his spiritual son. His spiritual son goes to Padre Pio and says, Father, these are his words. Father, some people deny the existence of the devil. And Padre Pio answered saying, how can one doubt his existence when I see him around me all the time? Padre Pio was surrounded by evil, by satanic attacks all the time, and he could see them. And therefore, this is what Padre Pio said. Now, I remember as a child, many people used to say, wherever there is a priest, the devil is very active. Wherever there is a priest, the devil is very active. Because if the devil can succeed in dethroning a priest, the church is shaken, and so the devil feels he has won. Since the devil is fully active in the world, he may feel lack of God's presence. So, anticipating this predicament, many people, because of so much of evil in the world, feel that God does not exist. Therefore, Padre Pio says to such people, Jesus is with you even when you don't feel His presence. He is never so close to you as He is during your spiritual battles. He is always there, close to you, encouraging you to fight your battle courageously. He is there to ward off the enemy's blows so that you may not be hurt. If we earnestly endeavor to love Jesus, this alone will drive all fear from our hearts. And our soul will find that instead of walking in the Lord's path, it is flying. So, my dear friends, before I sign up, I want to give you 5 ways you can protect yourself and your family. The first is having strong faith in Jesus. Very, very important. Second, whenever you get frightened or you feel that you are attacked by Satan, always recite, I believe. That is extension of your faith. Third, important is make Psalm number 91 by heart or read from the Bible, especially when you go to sleep. Third is Psalm number 91. And fourth one, very powerful, very close to the heart of Padre Pio, is a rosary. Always pray the rosary. Your individual rosary, your family rosary. Satan gets scared of the rosary, says Padre Pio. And finally, use of holy water. Always use holy water every time you feel there is some kind of satanic attack. So here are the 5 ways you can protect yourself and your family. Thank you very much. All the best in your spiritual life. God bless you. Padre Pio too blesses you.